By grace, you have been saved through faith. To which I have to say some of the most humbling things about being a Christian. No ordination certificate required here. Are receiving your stories, walking in love with friends, and standing by you when the changes and chances of this world take over your lives. In moments of rare and breathtaking beauty, in moments of breakthrough, in moments of despair, in quiet moments, when the secrets we keep are uttered so softly in fear that the truth of them will offend. I have witnessed the inner workings of a power whose name is love. And it is truly a song of a love unknown by many. But just because these moments of truth-telling are rare and delicate and at times fleeting, it does not mean that what I have encountered or what you have most certainly encountered there is cheap, wrong, or even dark. Those are the labels that we sometimes give those moments. But what these kinds of secrets really are, what these truths about ourselves are, and what the states of our hearts reveal is something that is very precious and therefore quite costly. Just as the love that infuses them is costly. But what is love in those moments of rawness and revealing, if not grace? You know, I've come to find out something about grace these past couple of years that I've been surprised to find out. And that is that we really shouldn't want to give it or receive it. I know that's coming at you from a direction that you didn't expect. And in all truth, it came at me in a direction I didn't expect either. And I know that these exits are looking rather appealing to you right now. So, I ask for your pardon, and without warrant, for your confidence. Though there are moments when we may not want to give or receive grace, it has a way of being born in the direst of circumstances. Amongst its most enduring qualities is its ability to abide, its ability to bridge, and ultimately find a way towards the light when everything is dark. Remarkably, grace finds routes into the heart of our condition that we never thought possible or that we thought we could bear. And therein, I think, lies the mystery of love. The ability to love, to give grace when nothing warrants it, is a power not of this world. And yet it is here. And it's here when we really need it. That agency in those moments of great trial is wondrously ours. And yet giving grace in those moments also is the hardest thing that we as Christians must learn to live into if the true freedom found in our faith is to be revealed, actualized, and experienced. Loving your enemy rebuilding broken trust, surviving the wounds of betrayal. That's the costly grace I'm speaking about. Grace, by definition, is a lavish, rich, and redeeming love that is neither warranted or earned. It is pure gift, and its most radical form is given and received after something that rends the very fabric of our lives. It's moments of our lives, the ones that no one wants to live through, and you know them because you've lived through them. Demands a language that is rarely spoken and let alone heard. This language of grace must account for the ruptures of our experiences and our history without succumbing to despair. And let's face it, in moments when the decision to give grace or to receive it is before us, despair is often a whisper away. The place where despair lurks then, and our agency seems stolen from us, has within it a single witness. And the truth is, I never really knew how badly I needed Jesus until I was in those moments. The moment where what we do in a breath can affect our entire lives. That's the threshold of the cross. There, the solitary witness of all of our suffering returns and again, offering us a familiar pattern, one of absorbing what we must, channeling it, and then through love, finding something that we cannot rush. Redemption. For what was the cross if not the place where love was crucified and where grace was ultimately revealed? But you know, that revelation took time, and we rarely wish to revisit the points in our lives where we come face to face with the cross. And for good reason, because such encounters tend to re-traumatize us or put us into a tailspin where the demons of relapse and depression lurk with a hunger that would devour our joy in a single encounter. But perhaps in the light of the truth of grace, we needn't fear so. Especially if we remember that the witness of those moments, the only witness there, is Christ himself. And just maybe it is here where the pronouncement of judgment that we encounter in today's gospel can be seen anew and be of some comfort to those of us who are or have been through a dark night of the soul. Our encounters with grace often come in the wake of judgment, right? Something's done to you. Whether it's a judgment on ourselves, on another person, or a situation, judgment in our minds precedes grace in our world, but not in the kingdom of God. And perhaps that is the darkness that the gospel bears witness to, not so much the deeds that are sown in those moments. For we ourselves are not the judge. And the Gospel of John tells us that Jesus does not condemn. And there's the opening. But it's one of the hardest lessons we learn. This gesture, then, this opening towards something more in this life or beyond this life, does not come at the expense of denying our suffering. Instead, it asks of us revealing questions and focuses attention on how we refigure our lives given our experiences of trauma, given our experiences with the cross, given the choice of turning towards the light instead of succumbing to the darkness that seems all around us. The language of the afterlife of trauma, the language of grace, of costly grace, is the language we as followers of Jesus must learn to speak often of. And we must speak it freely. For if we do, it will continue to signal new opportunities within our community, not just here, but outside of these walls, so that we can articulate a new relationship between what is dead and what is alive, from death to life, between the crucible of the cross and the wonder of resurrection. By speaking the language of grace, by offering ourselves to one another and those around us, we give something precious. We give each other hope. It's vital that we remember that instead of reaffirming the way of the cross again and again, there is also a need to imagine and to reimagine ways of resurrecting. And to imagine something, we need to see it. And the world needs to see it. And the world needs to see it the way I see it in you, with arms wide open. So speak your truth. Tell people of the grace that you have received, and tell people of the grace that you have given. And in the mystery of that telling, allow for a space to lengthen. Allow for time to enrich our perspective of the memory that you have just bestowed upon us. And allow for the gestation of compassion to find its root in the gift of love that you just gave another person. For in doing so, you have allowed love to be clearly seen. And there is no doubt that such deeds are done in God.